name is Angel Cologne. I am a former homosexual. I am a survivor of the Pulse nightclub shooting on June 12, 2016. I was shot 6 times, sustained a shattered femur, and suffered nerve damage. A day I will never forget, a big turning point in my life. Even in the midst of chaos, I prayed and prophesied over my life that I would survive and live free, and here I am today. Standing with no cane, here in the Capitol with my changed family. Many think I've made my decision to leave the LGBT community lifestyle because of the shooting, but I was desiring change way before June 12, 2016. Going through this horrible tragedy made me make the biggest decision in my life, which I'm very happy with. I've made this decision a year after Pulse nightclub shooting, finding what was the most important thing in my life, which was finding my true identity, which was in Christ. And today I stand here in the Capitol, sharing to the world that change is possible. Yes, I am known as a Pulse survivor, but I really want to be known as living proof that God does transform lives.
Amen.
I was born to a mother who had me at 15 years old. My home was very dysfunctional. It was abusive and dysfunctional. I actually seen my father put his hands on my mom, and it left mental scars and emotional scars in me. It got to the point where my dad ended up abandoning us, and that left me really, really sad. As a young child, I can only remember wanting to have a relationship with my father, and continually him not showing up and being there. It was very tragic to me. So I grew up with a single mom, and she was one of my only influence. And I was the guy who was not into sports. I was not going to get dirty. I was like, that's not for me. I want to dance, I want to sing, and I want to be an actor. And I never had the desire to be a homosexual, but it wasn't until people started calling me homosexual. It wasn't until they started planting these seeds and saying, hey, you know, you like hair, you like to dance, you over there with the cheerleaders instead of with the football players, you're a homosexual. And so that began to create a curiosity. I already suffered emotional wounds from my dad not being there, that abandonment, and I was looking for male affirmation. For most of my teen years, I was abused by a close family member, physically abused, which led to more pain and more hurt. And so I dove into the lifestyle. I really gave myself over to promiscuity. By the time I was 18, I was stripping. I was living in the nightlife, drinking every night, partying from Sunday to Sunday. I knew there had to be more, and then I encountered the love of God. And he came in and radically changed my life. The person you see here today is not the person I used to be. I am changed, I am fulfilled, I'm living my best life, I'm smiling and I'm dancing and loving life. And I want to tell the government that you cannot make decisions that will block people who were like me, who needed change and who wanted change to find freedom.
I'm a person who formerly had same-sexual attraction. When I was very young in New York City, my father, who is a pastor, raped me. And when I got to kindergarten, my mother and my father, they decided to take me out of school, and I was taken out of school for a total of 8 years. And during that time, I was tortured by my mother. My mother was very hurt by men, and so any sign of masculinity was a trigger and a threat to her. I can remember her beating me with a wire hanger until I was bloody and putting alcohol all over my body as I stood in front of a mirror. And I learned at that moment that I could not be masculine. I learned that I had to be effeminate. I had to emulate my sisters to avoid triggering her and so that I could survive. By the time I was 18, I had been living in Alaska for a year. I had been through foster care. That was a time where the things that I had suppressed began to manifest themselves through pornography, addiction. By that point, I had a restraining order. I was in anger management. I was in counseling for PTSD, and I had a measure of gender dysphoria. And it was also that year that a friend who was 18 decided to force me to go to church, and I wanted nothing to do with church. But when I went to that church, I saw something in those people's eyes that I had never seen before. I saw a God that my parents did not tell me about. And those people in that church, they didn't hate me or anything. They loved me. I saw life inside of them, and I wanted that freedom and that life. The love that I saw inside of their eyes convicted me of the error of my ways. And I remember for 3 weeks just telling God how sorry I was for all the wrong that I had done. And he said, "Christopher, I love you."